Hey guys, today I'm going to be spraying some herbicides for some weeds I got in the grass. I don't have a whole lot of weeds, but I do have some areas where I really need to get some better control of the weeds going on. So I'll show you what I'm going to do today. My grass is not in the best shape right now. I haven't done a whole lot for the last week or so. Went on vacation, went on a little trip. I sprayed some PGR on the grass that prevented it from growing a whole lot. I actually don't have a huge problem with weeds right now. I have a couple that seem to come up every now and then. I have this nutsedge right here, a couple areas where I don't know if you can see, it's kind of the lime green color that it pops up. There's a nut down in there, so it's not really the best to just pull it out because it's going to come back. So I'm going to spray some Certainty on it, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. There's always one area where I struggle with weeds the most, and that's along this sidewalk strip along the grass. You can see that I have quite the crabgrass problem. I used to have a lot of Dallas grass here, and some of it's still coming back, but most of this is just really ugly crabgrass that needs to get out of there. For some reason I also get a lot of this spurge looking stuff. At least I think it's spurge. Comes usually right along the sidewalk as well, but we'll take care of that. Bermuda is awesome because there's really a couple awesome key herbicides that you can put down that will last you a long time and will really take care of 99% of the weeds in your grass. That's what I'm going to be putting down today. I'm going to be putting down Celsius and Certainty, along with maybe a couple other things that I'll throw in the mix. Get a nice mixture down on the grass and take care of all these weeds. All right, so I'm going to fill this up with 4 gallons of water. Right here I marked on the bucket where a 4-gallon mark is, just so I know every time my sprayer handles 4 gallons of water. So that's what I'm gonna fill up. All right, so for your broadleaf weeds, if you have Bermuda grass, this is a really good product. It's called Celsius WG. WG stands for wettable granules. This is a really good product if you have a lot of broadleaf weeds in the grass. This is going to take care of most of the weeds that you have. It's just a granule that disintegrates in the water once you mix it. So this is a really good, it's a little expensive, but make sure you read the label and you'll get a lot of uses out of this. So I'm putting down about half of I guess maybe a 20th of an ounce per 1,000 square feet of yard, and I have about 4,000 square feet, 4 gallons. So doing a little bit under about quarter of an ounce or so. All right, so the second product that I'm going to be using is Certainty. This one is very similar to Sedgehammer. It has the same active ingredient. This one is really for your grassy type of weeds, like nutsedge, like we looked at earlier. This one's going to be really effective for those type of weeds. Now this one, it's also pretty expensive, but you'll get a lot of uses out of it if you use it according to the label. So you really don't need a whole lot here. I'm using only 0.05 ounces per 1,000 square feet. So I'm going to be using about 0.2 ounces for my grass. And I've done the math before, and usually that's for this, it's about it's not a cat full, but it's a little bit underneath. All right, so with these products, it's going to be absorbed into the grass blade itself, and so you're going to need some sort of surfactant. This is basically glorified dish soap that helps all these herbicides adhere and stick to the grass blade so that it's absorbed into the plant and that the weeds are killed. So you don't need a whole lot here, usually about a couple teaspoons per gallon of water at most. I'm also going to be putting down an insecticide. I switch up which products I use based on the active ingredient, just to keep it fresh and to keep it going. This one, the active ingredient is imidacloprid, which is a really good one. I change it up, like I say, but this one I've actually had pretty good success with. So I'm going to be putting in 0.4 ounces per gallon on this one. About 1.5 ounces. All right, folks, there's a rumor out there that Connor Ward himself has not ever used tracker dye, and I think that's kind of ridiculous. I think he needs to try it just once. So Connor, consider yourself challenged. You need to use tracker dye at least once. It gets everywhere, but I want to see you do it. So this goes a long way. And the reason you're doing this is so that you can see where you're spraying, so that you don't overlap or cross where you've been spraying before too much and overdosing on the product. All right, so these products are going to take a few days to really take effect. It's not going to happen overnight. They're not going to kill the weeds overnight. It's going to take 7, 8, or 9 days at least until you start to see some effect. So be patient. These are really effective at what they do. They'll definitely kill the weeds, and once you cut the grass for the first time, after waiting a few days, you'll notice that you're starting to see some damage on the grass. So the hotter it is outside, the better. Of course, you don't want it to rain or run your irrigation or right after spraying down. You want it to be really hot outside, at least for the next few days, if possible, after you're laying down or spraying down the herbicide. So this is a really good product to use in the summertime, especially when it's hot. It's going to get the herbicide in the blades of the weed, and it's going to get in there, and it's going to kill it. It's going to be awesome. And as I mentioned, these are targeted towards Bermuda grass. If you have Bermuda grass, these are really two great products to use, Celsius and Certainty, for 99% of the weeds you're going to have in your grass. I like to run this for at least 3 or 4 minutes to make sure it's really mixed up before I put it in the sprayer. I think this is the hardest part, the whole thing. I have these blocks that I like to put this up on just so I can get the battery in down on the bottom. And I can put it on my back. It is pretty heavy. It's 4 gallons of water, so It's not for the faint of heart, but it's not that bad. Buckle on. Little switch. We're good to go. All right, I went a little bit heavier on the street side just because I get a lot of weeds there that struggle to really go away, so I just gave it a little bit of an extra boost. Nothing wrong with a little boosty. That's pretty much it, guys. It's pretty quick, it's pretty easy. It's not that hard to do. You know, spraying maybe all in all, mixing everything, it takes about, maybe takes 45 minutes to an hour once you get the hang of it, so definitely worth it. Got rid of almost all of my weeds. You know, it's just something I enjoy doing. I like making it look good. It's like I said, it's not that hard. So guys, just to recap, Celsia and Certainty, if you have Bermuda grass, those are two great products to look into, as well as if you have a big enough yard to where you feel like a backpack sprayer is more efficient. It's really the way to go. Like I said, those are going to take care of 99% of the weeds in your grass. There's no temperature restriction. Just want to make sure that you're reading the label very carefully and that you're putting down the right amount of product on your grass, otherwise you could damage it. So it's just like that, folks. It's that easy.